This is the last of 4 videos on TdBench version 7.2, which describes how to do analysis with TdBench. So how do you find out the information about prior runs? Just select from the test tracking table by time period, by run ID range, or by the keywords you place into the name, title, or notes. To get information about a particular run, just use that run ID as a constraint against the reporting view. If you need to compare 2 runs that happened before or after some tuning event, reconfiguration, or different size data scale, just provide the list of runs that you want to see. I generally copy and paste the output into Excel and build a pivot table report to view the results. One thing that happens in a benchmark is that a particular query might start behaving badly after reconfiguration or change in the data. You can query any of the DBQL views by query name to get performance information, explains steps or objects used across all of the tests so that you can investigate what happened. You might be asking where the query name come from. The reporting views call SQL functions to parse the first 500 bytes of the SQL text looking for TdB equal and followed by a name, or the query band, and it will separate out the name, and for big BI scripts, the script name, the step name, or if you've used parameterized queries or macros, we'll also pick out the parameters that were used in the execution of that query. Getting res usage information is just as easy. And the views automatically select 1 minute before and 1 minute after the test to provide a snapshot of the system before the test begins. Generally for benchmarks, I set the res usage logging rate to 30 seconds to provide more detail on changes in system performance during the test. There's also a view that looks at just the CPU from the res usage SPMA table. With TdBench 7.1, we provide an Excel reporting template. When you open it, there's an instructions tab with help on its use and a button for showing the reporting form if you should happen to close it. And first open is not connected to a database, so you use the fields and buttons at the top to make the connection. Use the drop-down list to choose your ODBC connection. Type in your username, your password, the name of the benchmark database, and press the Connect button. When connected, all of the runs from the test tracking table are displayed. There are checkboxes allowing you to select 1 or more run IDs to analyze. At the right is information about the test currently under the mouse pointer. At the lower left is a list of all the views and macros in the benchmark database, beginning with the characters RPT. You can click 1 or more views to use with the selected run IDs. You can also add additional constraints, such as run seconds greater than 400 or query name equal to XYZ. When done, click the Run Selected button, and it will build 1 spreadsheet in Excel for each view selected. There's also a button allowing you to update the conditions of a prior run in the test tracking table, or to add your observations into the notes column of the test tracking table. When a macro is selected to run, a form pops up to enter the parameters. If the column names of the macro begin with run ID, those fields are filled in from selections on the reporting form. This macro is the RPT Compare Serial Queries Rank macro, which compares execution by query name of 2 serial runs. It indexes the relative run seconds, CPU, parsing time, and I/O. You can specify filters on the rank of an index, such as the top 20 based on increased runtime. You can also filter out the quick running queries by specifying a minimum run seconds for considerations, since runtimes under 2 seconds may have large relative changes. So where do I get the software? It's stored on the Teradata Developers Exchange under the search TdBench 7-2. If you have questions about TdBench, ideas for improvement, or are interested in adding benchmark tools to tdb.sh for the next release, just contact the author.